Welcome to this week's Therapeutic Tuesday. And this week we have something a little bit different to the standard format. It's the last episode before we break for the Christmas and New Year holidays. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to reflect on the episodes that we've done so far. And also to explore a little bit about how I think you can best use these sessions to get the most out of them. For those of you that have been following Therapeutic Tuesdays from the beginning, thank you. I appreciate the support. And for those of you that perhaps are new to discovering Therapeutic Tuesdays, there's now a growing library of what must be a dozen or so of these mini sessions that I film. So there's a kind of helpful archive to explore and discover different ideas. Just a little bit in reflection, really, the first thing that I wanted to say is Therapeutic Tuesdays have been a little bit of a surprise hit of Everyday Alex. I was certainly excited about sharing some of the kind of what happens in consultations, although these to date have been mini consultations. They've just been kind of half-hour kind of standalone sessions. Obviously, I'm deeply passionate about and I think addicted is the wrong word, but I love the therapeutic process and journey. But I wondered how it would be for people watching what was quite specific to one person and how helpful that would be for others to watch. And it's actually been really touching to see the number of comments and responses of how people have seen themselves and other people's experiences. And even if they felt that it didn't resonate with their experience, they've still appreciated seeing others' insights and moments of clarity or breakthrough. So it's been, I found that quite moving to observe that. And I think also one of the benefits is that people, I think, have felt a little bit less alone in their own experiences and their own struggles. One of the things that I like to say is there are three types of people in the world. There are people that have problems and they admit them to themselves and they admit them to other people. They're able to kind of self-reflect on their issues and they're willing to talk to other people about their issues. There are then those that will admit their issues to themselves, but they won't want to talk about or admit them to others. They still want to present a veneer of everything kind of being sorted and fine and together. And they're a bit more limited because although they can self-reflect, it's harder to ask for help and get support. And then there are people who don't even admit their issues to themselves. They kind of they buy their own story in a sense that they are sorted or everything is fine or there are no issues. And I think often those people suffer the most. And one of my, personal missions or objectives in life is to normalize the fact that we all suffer and we all struggle. And if anything, the ones that present the most kind of perfected image are often the ones suffering the most because they're likely to be in that third category. They've bought the story themselves and they're selling it to everyone else that they've got no issues. So one of the things that I've really appreciated about doing these Therapeutic Tuesday sessions is I think people have started to see the commonality and the shared challenges and struggles that people have. And I think some people have felt a little bit less alone as a result of that. And that's something that I'm really grateful and pleased to see. Yesterday's meditation was a gratitude meditation. And in a sense, one of the things that one of my highlights of this year has been bringing the work that we do to more people, but also people feeling less isolated as a result of that. In terms of reflecting of how to get the most out of these Therapeutic Tuesday sessions, I think it is important to recognize that everyone is different. Although there are commonalities and patterns, people are different in their experiences. And I think it is important to take what resonates and let go of what doesn't. So you might be watching, one of these mini sessions and it's with somebody that's at a different stage of the recovery journey. And you're just not resonating with what I'm saying. Perhaps I'm talking about them bouncing the boundaries and talking about them doing a little bit more activity for where they are. And you're like, Alex, that's just like totally not where I'm at. But then there might be something else in the session that I say. Perhaps we go into something around their beliefs about the potential to recover, potential of recovery, and in hearing that, that bit resonates. So you might resonate with part of a session and not the rest of a session, or you may fully resonate with one person and totally not resonate with another person. So be okay with taking what resonates to you. I can have 6 patients in a day, and they could be 6 people at the same stage of the recovery process, and we could go in 6 completely different directions in terms of my recommendations. And this was one of my, I guess, concerns with these mini sessions, was that I would give someone advice that would be absolutely appropriate for them and totally not appropriate for 1,000 other people watching the session. So it is important that you know, one of the things I talk a lot about is the importance of listening to your own body. And it is really important that you listen to your own body in your experience of like what lands and what doesn't land, what resonates and what doesn't resonate. And sometimes the thing to do, and you'll see me recommending this to people, to rather than kind of signing up to something and going, yep, that's absolutely what it is and that's what I now have to do, to go, well, let's do an experiment. The hypothesis is that this is where someone's at and this is the next piece. Like a lot of what you're seeing me do in these mini sessions is figuring out where someone is, reflecting that back to them and giving them the next piece in the journey. Rarely am I going lots of steps ahead. I'm trying to figure out what's the next most helpful thing for that person to understand, and trying to use metaphors or stories or bring my own clarity to help them see that and give that next bit of orientation. And so if that next piece, if you're not sure if it resonates or not, one of the things that works really well is to do an experiment. So go, right, this resonates. I think I'm at this stage of the recovery process. I'm going to try doing a bit more, not go, right, for the next 3 months, I'm just going to have this plan, but go, well, let's experiment. Let's bounce the boundaries. Let's see what happens when I do that. And what you might also find is helpful is that in the Therapeutic Tuesday sessions, what I'm doing is I'm figuring out where someone is, I'm reflecting it back, I'm giving the next piece that I can see for them. But what I try to do is if there are particular themes that come out in those sessions, I try to cycle back to those in some of the Thoughtful Thursday sessions. So you'll see some of the themes there are pulled from things that have been covered in the mini sessions. I've also got a bunch of things I want to cover in the future that have been pulled out of those. So you might also find those a helpful way of kind of reinforcing or giving more context or more explanation behind that. But ultimately, I guess really the point that I'm making is don't be afraid to go, that sounds really helpful for that person and really not helpful for me. Or this bit helps, that bit doesn't help. Do what you can to fill in the details. Obviously, if you want to go deeper, the reset program, that will start again. There'll be another group starting, I guess we'll announce it kind of mid-January. That will start late January, early February. That will be a great way if you want to work with me. Also, the Optimal Health Clinic, amazing team of practitioners, is another way to work with these tools in a much more personalized way. So yeah, I'd love to hear what's been your experience of Therapeutic Tuesdays so far. What have you learnt? What's been helpful? What's been a benefit to you? I'd love to just hear. This would be a good video below which in the comments to share your experiences. What would you like to see more of? We're currently working on lining up some sessions. We do currently have some availability for these mini sessions. We'll start filming some again in January. As you may well be aware, we're also starting this more involved project where I'm going to be filming whole therapeutic journeys of people. We've just been this afternoon starting to review some of the applications for that. So I think we'll do that in addition initially, but it may end up replacing. We're going to see how that goes in terms of time and resource and feedback and response. But yeah, share what you've enjoyed so far. And if you haven't gone back and over the holiday time, it's a good time to go back and to revisit stuff. And one of the things that I love about putting out content in this way is if you are struggling in the holiday period or feeling isolated, this content's all here waiting for you to come and dive into as feels helpful. So yeah, thank you again for coming on this journey with Therapeutic Tuesdays over the last 3 months or so. It's been very rewarding to see the impact and to hear the impact that's been having on people. So tomorrow's Wellness Wednesday, and the next couple of days we've got some content specifically designed to help with the holiday period. I appreciate not everyone watching the vlog follows the Christian holiday period. We are based in London, and so kind of Christmas and New Year is kind of a thing here. But the content is also relevant if you celebrate different holidays. It's just, tomorrow's video is going to be how to deal with kind of nutrition programs when you're kind of surrounded by family on holiday, and like how you deal with kind of, what do you eat and how you manage that. And then on Thursday, Thoughtful Thursday, I'm going to do a video on self-care, how to best support and take care of yourself during the holiday period. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to talking with you tomorrow on Wellness Wednesday.